Well, wouldn't you know, there is indeed hope in the grim darkness of the far future after all. Space Marine 2 is revealed. Normally I'm not one for trailer breakdowns, but this one
is a bit special.
It's quite the trailer, so let's start from the top. This begins the cinematic portion of the reveal trailer. We open on black to the Focus Entertainment logo, a publisher quite familiar with the 40K IP. And we can see the game is developed by Saber Interactive, a studio which, from what I gather, is most known for remasters and smaller projects, relatively speaking. Sincerely, I hope this one is a home run, but I digress. In this opening shot, we see what appears to be 3 ships heading towards a planet, and we can see some of the giant spire architecture synonymous with the Imperium of Man, where the spires of those megastructures reach far into the atmosphere, as was also demonstrated with the Dark Tide reveal trailer, which with this game makes for 2 40K video games on my wishlist. Those savvy with the Adeptus Astartes will recognize these as Thunderhawk gunships, which often serve as the orbit-to-surface Space Marine insertion method. And we're greeted with a shot of 2 Hormagaunts. This tells us that the Tyranids will be serving as the antagonist force, or at least the initial enemy force of Space Marine 2. And as a fan of the Nids, I relish the spotlight on them. But the real question here is, what are those 2 Gaunts doing up there? Then we get a flyover transition to the ground, featuring an Imperial Guard infantry squad of the Cadian Regiment, falling back from an engagement with the Tyranids. This guy here with the Voxcaster serves as a point-of-view character of sorts. He calls to company command claiming, "We can't hold the square." They don't answer back. I think they might be dead. And what a shot this is. It tells us quite a few things. In this square is a relatively small group of Tyranids, and these are Tyranids of High Fleet Leviathan, denoted by their purple carapace and white chitin skin. And they are led by a lone Tyranid warrior. Tyranid warriors are synapse creatures, serving a critical role within the Tyranid swarm, modifying the behavior and coordinating the lesser creatures' simple instinctive behaviors. This begs the question, will Synapse be a mechanic in Space Marine 2 we as players can leverage? For example, will we be able to take out these leader beasts to prevent the Tyranids from creating coordinated assaults? And the Space Marines drop in. This is undoubtedly cool. We got the low angle, heavy impact drop, accompanied by the rising score. Center, we have a lieutenant with chainsword. Yes, tabletop fans. GW yet again has delivered us a Primaris lieutenant, a sergeant with a bolt rifle, and a battle brother with an auto bolt rifle, which we can identify from the larger drum-style magazine. Interestingly, these 2 different bolt rifle types are not a permitted loadout on the tabletop. You could say the Codex Astartes would not support such an action. Perhaps a nod to the protagonist reveal later in the trailer. Small detail here, but as a Tyranid fan, this is awesome to see. Aside from the tight audio direction of the skittering chitinous claws, we can see the Hormagaunts are pulling back, not charging rapidly the way they would if driven by instinctive behavior. Instead, they exhibit a controlled gesture of caution. And when the warrior commands, the Hormagaunts go forth, and the fight begins. Here again, we can appreciate more of the subtle details of this trailer. The sergeant with the bolt rifle is taking more carefully measured shots, where the Space Marine with the auto bolt rifle is firing at a much quicker pace, which nicely reflects these 2 weapon types in lore and on the tabletop. I don't always show my bias, but when I do, it's usually for sergeants with red helmets. And our trio of Marines go forth, performing their righteous duty, disposing of these Hormagaunts with relative ease. Here we can see a pretty distinct nod to some sci-fi gothic statuary of the Imperium. And wowee, we are treated to a really gory kill, or a glory kill, if you will. Similar to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, the original Space Marine featured execution moves which restored health when performed, which helped maintain a tight action-packed gameplay loop. And I think this lateral evisceration is perhaps a hint to a likely execution move for the chainsword weapon versus Hormagaunts and presumably Termagants. And we get a shot of our Voxing Cadian with a look of awe, likely similar to ours upon the initial viewing of this trailer, followed up with our Tyranid warrior looking real mean and ready to fight. I particularly like this bit of animation here from the Tyranid warrior. It's a real pleasure to see the Tyranids animated in such high fidelity. The two clash swords, and either those bone swords are quite underpowered, or that is one hell of a chainsword. Probably mastercrafted since it's wielded by a lieutenant, with a little bit of protagonist power as well. And our lieutenant, using his free hand, unholsters his sidearm, a bolt pistol, and uses it to shoot the Tyranid's leg and pull off what looks like another potential execution move. But, silly Tyranid warrior, you had two free hands available, likely with rending claws. You probably should have used those. With that said, some semblance of peace has been restored to this area, and we get a nice reminder of the scale of Space Marines. Granted that those guardsmen are further into the background, but all the same these Ultramarines are undeniably massive. Another nice touch, our Voxman Cadian in his moment of reverence utters his angels. His referring to the Emperor of Mankind, angels referring to the Space Marines, as they are known to humanity as the Emperor's Angels of Death. And in this moment of respite, we get a larger shot of the conflict at hand, showing high-orbit bombardments and large aerial swarms of what I can only presume to be Tyranid gargoyles. Finally, we get our face reveal. Our lieutenant is Captain Titus. Well, I guess Lieutenant Titus now. Here we have a good bit of consistency and world building. We knew Titus got into a bit of heat for his actions in the previous game, and so a potential demotion to lieutenant fits the bill. And we can see now he has 4 gold service studs, where previously he had 2 silver ones, accounting for the time progression from the original game to the current era Indomitus, which is also confirmed by Titus surviving the Rubicon Primaris, which is the process a Space Marine undergoes to become a Primaris Space Marine. And we close on that classic logo, with a Roman numeral 2, which is fitting for the Ultramarines. The reveal trailer wraps up with a quick gameplay montage. We can see Titus equipped with a jump pack performing a Hammer of Wrath style landing against a group of Hormagaunts. Interestingly, this isn't a recognizable jump pack on the tabletop. And jump packs are not currently a war gear option that can be equipped by Mark 10 Tacticus armor. So it smells like a new Primaris unit or war gear option is on the horizon for the tabletop. We get a teaser of some shooting gameplay, with Titus firing a bolt rifle into a massive horde of Tyranids, which includes multiple Tyranid warriors. We get Titus sprinting through a war-torn landscape hot on the heels of some Cadian infantrymen, where we can spot a Basilisk and Chimera troop transport. A scene where Titus is fighting a whole horde of Hormagaunts, which looks quite in keeping with the original Space Marine game. And a final shot of Titus walking towards a large spire surrounded by an aerial swarm of gargoyles, quite possibly the same swarm. And that's my Space Marine 2 reveal trailer breakdown. Suffice to say, I'm looking forward to another adventure with Titus. A few points of criticism. Subfaction choice here feels a bit too promotional. You already have Space Marines as Ultramarines. You got Cadian Guardsmen and Tyranids from High Fleet Leviathan. It's like box art city out here, and because of it, it makes the world feel small. Also, I would have preferred for the Tyranid warrior Titus takes on to feel a bit more threatening. And I think the Titus reveal could have been stronger. It should have been preceded by the sergeant asking a question, so that we can hear Titus respond with a phrase alluding to how it's good to be back delivering the Emperor's judgment, or something like that. But it's late, and I'm too tired to think up something cool. Overall, tight trailer, 7 out of 10. If you like this video and want to see more of this style of content, hit the like button and let me know in the comments below. And you can feel free to let me know about what you appreciated about this trailer reveal as well. Also, quick thanks to my patrons. See you guys in the next one.